So my story is a ghost story, kind of. I hope that you're all ready to be really scared. And it happened, I think, 8 or 9 years ago. And my partner wanted to go camping. So I am not really into camping. My parents are immigrants from Trinidad, and they're like, why did we come here to work really hard so that you would sleep in the dirt, So I'm going camping. I think I had gone like 2 or 3 times. I went in the 5th grade, and none of the boys wanted to kiss me during Spin the Bottle, so that's what I remember. And then I went camping like in my 20s and just got really wasted and got a lot of mosquito bites. But he wanted to go real camping. He is white. He's like 5th generation Canadian, and he went to Scouts and everything, and he really likes sleeping in the dirt. And so he really wanted to go camping, so I was like, okay, let's go camping. And we decided to go to the Adirondack Mountains, which are in upstate New York. And so we were driving there, and the weather was garbage. It was thunderstorms, lightning, terrifying, couldn't see the road, look at the hazard lights of the car in front of you and be like, really scary. And our friends from Vermont were supposed to meet up with us, and they texted us, and they were like, yeah, we're not coming. It's way too scary. And they are also white. So I was like, well, these guys don't want to go camping either. But he really wanted to go camping. And so we got to the Adirondacks, and our plan was that we would stay at a bed and breakfast there and then go camping the next morning. So I don't know if anyone's ever been to the Adirondack Mountains. They are really beautiful. And the way that we were entering, we were driving down into the mountains. So we're like going down into this valley, and there are all these craggy mountains and beautiful pine trees. It was really beautiful. And then it started getting dark, and the sunset was really beautiful. And we're like, beautiful sunset, where are we? It's the country. It's the country. There are no street lights, no street signs. We were trying to figure out where our bed and breakfast was, and we stopped at this one store, and we're like, have you heard of this bed and breakfast? They're like, no. So we're driving, and it was really, really dark, and there are a lot of big trucks sort of going down slowly down the grade. And at some point, we decided, okay, well, we're not going to find our bed and breakfast, so we have to find a place to stay. So I don't really remember if he saw it or if I saw it, but at some point, there was like a motel on the side of the road. And so we're like, well, maybe we'll stay here. And it was called the Jack Rabbit Inn, which is like the scariest Scooby-Doo name ever. And it looked like out of Scooby-Doo. Like it looked like a fake Swiss chalet with like wood and everything. And I think there's one car in the parking lot. I don't remember if we noticed. Oh, I should mention also that we were driving my now father-in-law's 18-year-old Chevy Lumina, which is white, and the driver's side door was broken and the indicator was broken. So if we wanted to turn it, it'd be like tick, 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 tick. And if the driver wanted to get in, you'd have to get in the passenger side and slide over. So we pulled the Chevy Lumina into the parking lot at the Jackrabbit Inn, and we went in, and it was a ski lodge, and it was the summer, so everything was boarded up, There was like plastic, and everything was stacked up. And I think there were a couple lights on, but there wasn't anyone there. And so we're sort of standing around like, okay, well, can we stay here? We need somewhere to stay. It's like 9 o'clock and really dark, and we're in the middle of the mountains. We have no idea. And then this guy shows up, and he is like a skinny guy in his early 20s. And he's like, hi, I'm Brady from Texas, and I'm staying here. And the way that you stay here is that you call the owner, and she'll come and give you a room. And so we called her, and she came. And she asked us, did we want to stay in the dorm? Because Brady was backpacking through the States, so he was trying to save money. So he was staying in the dorm, but I do not sleep in dorms anymore. So I was like, I'll take a room. And so we were on the main floor, and Brady was in the basement, and she took us up to a room on the 3rd floor. And, it was a camp, so it wasn't a fancy room. It was like a big room. There were probably like 5 or 6 single beds or double beds in there, and like a kitchen with kitchen utensils. It becomes important later. And so we took this room, and then the owner left. Like, she's not on the property. She lives somewhere else. And we had a couple beers in our car, so we took them downstairs, and Brady was watching TV. And so we asked him if he wanted a beer, and we were talking, and he was telling us about his travels through America. The only story I remember is that he had slept on some sort of platform in Florida and gotten a lot of mosquito bites, and it was terrible. So we exchanged some travel stories and went to bed pretty early because we wanted to go camping. So it was the country. It was very, very dark, and we were in the Jackrabbit Inn, and we were the only people there on the 3rd floor, and there was no one on the 2nd floor, and Brady was on the 1st floor. And so my husband, who is white and loves camping, so he also goes long distance cycling, and there's a term called a weight weenie, which means that you want your pack to be really light. So whenever we travel, whether or not we're camping, if we're like going to a hotel, he doesn't bring underwear because it's too heavy for your bag. So he never has underwear on. We're traveling, which whatever. So he went to bed naked, but I also, TMI, but I don't like camping because of urinary tract infections. So it wasn't like a, hot and heavy getting it on night, but he was naked. And so around like 2 o'clock in the morning, he says he woke up, and I was sleeping. So he says he woke up and he heard a noise, and he looked into the parking lot. And before there had been 2 cars. There was our car, the Chevy Lumina, and there was Brady from Texas's car, but now there was a 3rd car there. And he's like, well, that's weird. It's like the middle of the night. Why is there another car here at the Jackrabbit Inn? Whatever. So he goes, he puts his head down, and and then he said he heard some steps, and he heard some people, and then all of a sudden he hears, no! And so I woke up, and he was standing by the window, naked, and I was like, what's going on? Like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, no, there's something going on. I heard something really terrifying. I'm like, no, we're just in the woods. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And then I heard, no. And we're both like, totally terrified. And by the way, I couldn't see because I've since had laser eye surgery, which you should get if you're going camping. But I couldn't see anything, so my contacts were out. So I was like totally blind, and we're like, we need to get out of here. And so like Steve puts shorts on, and I did not put my contacts on, so I still could not see. And we just like left all our stuff there. We're at the door, ready to leave the room, and he's like, hold on. And he runs back to the kitchen, and he grabs like this giant knife. And I was like, what are you gonna do with that knife? And so we're going down the stairs trying to get to our car, and he's like, okay, whatever happens, just keep going. I was like, what are you talking about? I can't see anything. And so we get into the parking lot, and he opens the passenger door of the Chevy Lumina, and we slide over. And we get on the road, and it's like pitch black still, and he's like on the gas, like, and I was crying. I was like, what about Brady? They're killing Brady. And so we're like driving around all these corners in the Adirondacks, and I can't see anything, and it's like totally insane. And then all of a sudden there's an Econo Lodge, which like, where were you last night, Econo Lodge? And so we like go, like pull up right to the plate glass window of the Econo Lodge, and there's this like old lady out there smoking cigarettes. And we're like, oh my God, the Jackrabbit Inn, they're murdering Brady from Texas, man. So she called the state police and gave us a cup of tea, and then the police came, and and we're telling them our story, and they were just like, who are you Canadians from the city? Like, what are you even talking about? How many beers did you have? And we're like, 1. Seriously, Brady's being murdered. Like, so like, they drove us back to the Jackrabbit Inn, and the 3 cars were still there. And we wanted to go back to our room and take our stuff, and they wouldn't go with us. And we're like, seriously, can you come to our room with us? And they wouldn't. We had to go upstairs and get our stuff, and they were standing outside in the parking lot. And the state trooper comes up from the basement. He's like, I found something. And then it was Brady, and he was just asleep. And he was like, what's going on, guys? And we're like, we thought you were dead. And so then we got back in our car, and we went back to the Econo Lodge. And then Brady texted us like an hour later, like, I'm leaving. You totally ruined my trip in the Adirondack Mountains. He didn't say that, but like, he'd been having a nice time. we, we ruined his trip. And then we still went camping, and we got rained on, and it was awful and wet. And the moral of the story is, I'm going camping in 2 weeks. True love. Yeah. Thank you for coming.